Every buyer walks into their first property visit with the same feeling. This is it. This is the moment. I am finally doing something real with my life. The agent is warm. The neighborhood looks exactly like the photos. The kitchen has that island you bookmarked 6 months ago. And somewhere between the second bedroom and the backyard, you start doing the math in your head. Monthly payment, down payment, how long before this feels like yours? You walk out believing the process is on your side. You believe the price is fair because the market decided it, that the agent is working for you because they said so, that the inspection will catch everything because that is what inspections are for, that the bank approved you for what you can afford, not for what they can earn. You believed all of it because nobody in that building had any reason to correct you. And by the time you discovered what the process actually was, you had already signed. This is what nobody explains before the first visit. Real estate is not a market designed to find you the right home at the right price. It is a system designed to close transactions. And in a system built around closing, every participant gets paid when the deal closes. Not when you get a fair price, not when the home performs the way it was described, when it closes. That distinction sounds small on the day you get the keys. It will become the most important thing you ever understand about the largest purchase of your life. Truth number 1, your buyer's agent is not working for you. They are working toward the transaction. You were told the buyer's agent is free, that the seller pays everything, that you get professional representation at no cost. Here is what was left out. The seller pays a total commission. That commission gets split between both agents. Your agent, the one who knows your budget, your fears, and your timeline, takes half. And not every listing offers the same split. Some sellers offer 2% to the buyer's agent, some offer 3%, some, the ones sitting on the market, offer 3.5% or 4% to whoever brings a body through the door. Your agent sees every one of those numbers before they build your showing list. A buyer spends 3 weekends visiting homes. What they do not know is that the 2 properties with motivated sellers and aggressive pricing offered 2%. The 5 homes they actually visited offered 3% or higher. Nobody lied. Nobody broke a rule. The system performed exactly as designed. Truth number 2. The listing price is not what the home is worth. It is an opening position your agent may not be motivated to challenge. On a 3% commission, a home closing at $400,000 pays your agent $12,000. That same home closing at $380,000 pays $9,600, a difference of $2,400. On one deal, an agent managing 4 active clients, 3 closings, and a school pickup has a very quiet incentive to get your offer accepted quickly at a number the seller will take without pushback, not out of malice, out of the math that lives underneath every human decision when time has a cost. The negotiation that could have saved you $15,000 never happened, and when you got the keys, you felt grateful, because you never knew what was not attempted on your behalf. Truth number 3. Dual agency is the conflict of interest that gets introduced to you as a convenience. You find a listing you love, you call the number on the sign, the agent is warm, knowledgeable, immediately helpful. Then they say something that sounds like good news. I actually represent this property, but I can work with both sides. It tends to make things smoother. What they did not say is this. In a dual agency arrangement, they collect both halves of the commission. On a $400,000 home at 5% total, that is $20,000 from a single transaction. And they are now legally representing both you and the seller at the same time. The person advising you on price is being paid more when your price goes up. The person reviewing the inspection with you has a financial interest in the deal closing regardless of what the report says. In most states, this is legal. In most transactions, it is disclosed in a paragraph of boilerplate you sign on page 4 of a stack that arrives the same morning as everything else. You signed it, you just did not know what it meant when you did. Truth number 4. The inspection is where the deal almost always survives, even when it should not. The report found issues: a roof with 5 years left, a water heater original to the house, electrical panels that trip inconsistently, an HVAC that needs replacement within 2 years. Taken together, between $12,000 and $20,000 in near-term costs. A buyer who fully understood this might renegotiate, might ask for a credit, might walk away entirely, But here's what gets said instead. Every home has some things. This is pretty normal for a house of this age. I would focus on the major structural items and not worry too much about the rest. That framing is not wrong. It is also not complete. The difference between what was said and what a truly neutral advisor would have said, that difference is worth thousands of dollars. The deal that closed is the deal your agent was paid on. The questions that might have reopened it were the ones that did not get asked. Truth number 5, the bank did not approve you for what you can afford. They approved you for the maximum they can legally lend you. The approval letter feels like validation, like a number that says you are ready. It means something different. It means the bank calculated the maximum monthly payment they believe you can make while servicing your other debts. It does not account for the month your furnace fails, the year you take a pay cut, or the cost of the home actually needing to function at the level you were promised. The letter told you what you qualified for. It told you nothing about what you could safely carry. Truth number 6. The seller disclosure protects the seller, not you. Sellers answer what they know. Sometimes they answer what they can prove they knew. There is a difference. A seller who had a basement leak 3 years ago, patched it, repainted, and has had no issues since, does not necessarily disclose it. Legally, in most jurisdictions, disclosure depends on knowledge of a current defect. The buyer who purchased that home found out 18 months later when the original crack reopened during a wet spring. The seller disclosed accurately under the letter of the law. The agent found nothing to flag, the inspector noted no visible moisture intrusion, and the buyer paid for a foundation repair that everyone in the chain had structural reasons not to look for too carefully. Not fraud, not conspiracy. A system where every participant's incentive pointed toward closure, and only one participant's incentive pointed toward caution. That participant was you, and you did not know that was your job until after the keys changed hands. Truth number 7. The feeling that you cannot afford to wait is the most expensive feeling in real estate. Rates are going up, prices are only going to climb. If you do not buy now, you will be priced out. You have heard this in every market condition. In rising markets, it was used to accelerate your timeline. In flat markets, it was used to create urgency that did not exist. In declining markets, it was used to keep transactions moving while values softened underneath the buyers who listened. The fear of missing out is the single most monetized emotion in the entire transaction. Every participant benefits when your timeline compresses. Nobody benefits when you take your time and only move when the numbers actually work. Patience is the only negotiating advantage a buyer has that costs nothing. And the entire system is designed to make you feel like you cannot afford it. Truth number 8. Your mortgage payment is not your housing cost, it is the floor of your housing cost. The monthly payment includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. It does not include the water heater that will fail in year 3, the roof that needs replacing before year 10, the HVAC, the windows, the foundation. Homeownership has a maintenance cost that averages between 1% and 2% of the home's value per year. On a $400,000 home, that is $4,000 to $8,000 annually that never appears on the approval letter. Buyers who plan only for the mortgage do not plan for homeownership. They plan for the first 12 months. Truth number 9. A bidding war is designed to make you pay more than the home is worth, and you cannot verify whether it is real. You write a strong offer. You are told there are multiple offers. The agent advises you to escalate, to go above asking, to remove contingencies if you want to be taken seriously. Bidding wars are real. They also occasionally involve a single competing offer, or no competing offer at all, just the suggestion of one. You cannot see what is happening behind the door. You are operating entirely on information supplied by a party whose compensation increases with your offer price. The contingencies you were encouraged to waive exist to protect you. Removing them under pressure means that if something goes wrong, you have no exit that does not cost you money. The home felt worth fighting for, but the fight was happening on a field where the rules were written by the other side. Truth number 10. The home you bought is not a guaranteed investment. It is a leveraged asset in a market you do not control. You are told real estate always goes up, that you are building equity, that renting is throwing money away. Here's what that framing leaves out. You are buying one asset in one location with borrowed money. That asset can lose value. The location can change. And in the first years of the mortgage, most of your payment is going to the bank, not to equity. The homeowner who sells after 4 years in a flat market, after accounting for transaction costs, maintenance, interest paid, and the opportunity cost of the down payment, frequently discovers they would have done as well holding cash. Real estate builds wealth over long time horizons in growing markets. It is not a guaranteed outcome. It is an outcome that depends on time, location, and the decisions you made at the moment of purchase. And the moment of purchase is exactly when you had the least information and the most pressure to decide. So what do you do with this? You stop treating the closing table as the goal. The closing table is where the system gets paid. Your goal is a home that performs the way you were told it would for the next decade. Those are different finish lines, and the people who got paid at the first one left before you reached the second. You ask your buyer's agent directly before signing anything what commission they receive on each property they show you. Ask whether that number varies by listing. Watch the answer, not just the words, the hesitation before the words. You treat the inspection report as a negotiating document. Every finding is a data point. Every data point has a dollar value. That dollar value belongs in your offer revision, not in a polite acknowledgement that you accept the house as is. You read the disclosure form yourself, not for what is there, for what the structure of the questions might be designed to avoid. You build a financial buffer before you buy, not just for the down payment, for the first year of surprises, because the surprises are not a possibility. They are a schedule. You just do not have the dates yet, and you stop making the biggest financial decision of your life inside a system that rewards urgency, penalizes patience, and filters every piece of advice through the question that was never yours. What makes this deal happen, not what makes this deal right for you. The 10 truths in this video were not hidden in any document. They were hidden in the assumption that every professional sitting across from you was there to serve your outcome. They were there to serve the transaction, and now you know.